here that can say I killed one of his loved ones, or I took his wealth, or I harmed him in any way, that he wants to kill me? Anyone out there? Anyone? Again, when you're talking about Imam Hussein and you want to introduce Imam Hussein to the people, you say, okay, yes, he was the son of our prophet. He didn't kill anyone. He didn't take anybody's wealth. He didn't harm anyone, and they still wanted to kill him. So you're talking about the madlumiyat of Imam Hussein. That without committing any sins or doing anything wrong, they still want to kill him. And then he said, aren't you the people that invited me? The heads went down. Then he started calling names. Ya Shabas ibn Rabi'i, Ya Hajjar ibn Abjar, Ya Qais ibn Ash'as, Ya Yazid ibn Haris. Weren't you the ones who sent the letters to me? Shabas ibn Rabi'i, he is known as someone who changed colors so many times. He used to be a commander in the army of Imam Ali fighting Muawiyah. So he was pro-Imam Ali. After the what happened with the Hakimiyyat and all that, he switched. He became against Imam Ali. Then he was among the ones who wrote a letter inviting Imam Hussein to Kufa. And then he switched gears again. He was in the army of Umar ibn Sa'd. After the killing of Imam Hussein, he switched again. He became against Bani Umayyah now, because they're zalim, because they wanted to burn Kaaba. And then Mukhtar comes. He's against Mukhtar. If you've seen Mukhtar Nama, he takes arms against Mukhtar. And then he switches again. He becomes pro-Mukhtar. He gives allegiance to Mukhtar. And then he's involved in killing Mukhtar. He becomes pro-Zubayri. And then he goes against Mus'ab ibn Zubayr again. That kind of person. Shabas ibn Rabi'i. Who was Qais ibn Ash'as? Qais ibn Ash'as is the brother of Muhammad ibn Ash'as, which was cursed by the Prophet and Imam Ali. Muhammad ibn Ash'as, who was involved in the killing of Hazrat Muslim ibn Aqil alayhi salam. The brother of Ja'da, the wife of Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba, who was responsible for the martyrdom of Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba. It's that person. He's also known as Qais Qatifa. Qatifa is something that Arabs used to cover their face. Imam Hussein had a Qatifa on the day of Ashura. After the killing of Imam Hussein, this Qais ibn Ash'as, who was from a wealthy family, by the way, went and looted the body of Imam. He took this Qatifa from Imam. Yazid ibn Haris. Who was Yazid ibn Haris? By the way, Qais ibn Ash'as was also pro-Imam Ali and Siffin. This is very important. You see these people who were fighting with Imam Ali, about to give their life, just like Shamr ibn Zal-Joshan. There's a very famous statement that Basirat is to know that a person who was about to become martyred, fighting along Imam Ali, in Farsi we say John Baz, he was actually badly injured on Siffin. He could have been martyred and become Shamr Rahmatullah, became Shamr La'natullah in Karbala. That's the concept of Basirat and insight. How can a person change from this to that? How many of us have gone to Hajj with bare feet? Shamr did that so many times. How many of us are Hafiz al-Quran? He was a Hafiz al-Quran. People would ask him, Shaykhuna, Shaykhuna mas'alatun, we have a question, we have a fiqh question. They would go to Shamr. Shamr ibn Zal-Joshan. Who is Yazid ibn Haris? It's very interesting why Imam is picking on these people. Yazid ibn Haris, at the time of Zubayris, became the Hakim of Ray. Who was supposed to be given the Hukumat of Ray? Umar ibn Sa'd, right? He never got it. Yazid ibn Haris got it actually. And he was killed by Iranis in Ray, in Tehran, in today's Tehran. So Imam says, weren't you the ones who invited me? And it's very interesting. They looked up at the Imam and says, فَقَالُوا لَمْ نَفْعَلْ. No, we didn't do this. And Imam says, swear by Allah that you did do this. Then he says, أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ إِذَا كَرَحْتُمُونِي فَادْعُونِي انصرف عنكم إلى مَعْمَنٍ مِنْ أَرْضٍ. Okay, if you've changed your mind, you don't want me to come after you send me the invitation, it's okay, let me go. I'll go somewhere else. So again, look at the sequence. First he says, listen to me. I am Hussein. Did I kill any one of you? Did I harm any one of you? Did I take your wealth? Why do you want to kill me? Weren't you the ones who invited me? And then this Qais ibn Ash'as replies, why don't you give bay'at to your cousin? So again, it becomes an issue of khilafat and cousin. Whenever the Bani Umayyah, or their agenda was, this is an issue between Bani Hashim and Ala Abu Sufyan, right? It has nothing to do with righteousness and falsehood. It's not about haqq and batil. It's about who wants to get khilafat. And Imam recites, Inni ultu barabbi wa rabbakum an tarjumun. It's a verse that Hazrat Musa uses about the stubbornness of the Pharaoni people of the time. Please recite the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And then they begin again making a lot of noise. And Imam says, I'm trying to call you to the right path and you make noise. Ayyuhan nas, O people, whomever obeys us will be in the right path. Whomever disobeys us will be in the path to halakat, to destruction. And you are not listening to me today. مُلَأَتْ بُطُونَكُم مِّنَ الْحَرَامِ, because you have filled your stomach with haram. It's a very important lesson for us that we got to be very careful about the halal and haram in our lives. And it could be something as simple, okay, I'm supposed to work till 5 o'clock, I'm taking off at 4:45, I'm getting paid for the 15 minutes. Whatever it is, that the haram money that we're not supposed to be taking. And once you start taking this haram money, you get to a level that the Quran and Natiq is talking to you. He's mentioning Quran. He has the amama of Rasulullah, and you don't even want to listen to him. You don't even want to listen to him. And then he says, woe on you. He curses them. You are the slaves of your women. You are the leftovers of ahsab. You are those who left the book of Allah. You are those who misinterpreted the book of Allah. You are those who forgot the sunnah of Rasulullah. You are those who are the killers of the children of Anbiya. And then he says another famous statement. Swear by Allah that breaking your promise has become your habit. Again, a very important lesson for us, that if breaking promise becomes a habit for us, it will eventually lead to a very dangerous path. Eating haram, breaking promises. You make this promise, and unfortunately, people like me are well known for that. I'll be there at 5 o'clock. We show up at 6, 6:30. We say that's nothing. But if you're known to always break a promise, eventually it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And then Imam said, Ubaidullah has given us a choice between death, maut, and dhillah, and humiliation, and hayhat min nazillah. Never, never ever humiliation. That dying is better than a life of zillah. Again, we read these, but we don't reflect upon them. How do these sentences relate to our time? Imam is telling us, be careful about the food that you bring to your house. Be careful about your promises. Be careful about who is right, who is wrong, which side are you on. Know who is the zalim, who is the mazlum. Then in another instance he says, إذ قد بليت الأمة براع على الإسلام السلام. That if the ummah is tested with a person like Yazid, that is the end of Islam. So now he's saying this has nothing to do with khilafat, it has nothing to do with family matters the way you want to portray it. It's about على الإسلام السلام. Salam in Arabic can be used for saying salam and also for farewell, assalamu alaikum. In this case, it says, ala al-Islam as-salam. This will be the end of Islam. When you let someone like Yazid become your Khalifa, that's the end of Islam. And we see it today. Don't we see that today? When you see the Yazids of the time, under the name of Islam, are taking control of Islamic Ummah, that is the end of Islam, the pure Islam of Ahlul Bayt, the Islam al-Nabi Muhammadi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. It's very interesting. You look at, for example, Surah Al-Takwir. What does it say? How does it start? إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ وَإِذَا النُّجُومُ انْكَدَرَتْ وَإِذَا الْجِبَالُ صُيِّرَتْ وَإِذَا الْعِشَارُ وَطِّلَتْ وَإِذَا الْوُحُوشُ حُشِرَتْ وَإِذَا الْبِحَارُ سُجِّرَتْ وَإِذَا. When this happens, when this happens, when the sun loses its light, when the stars lose their light, talking about Qiyamah. When Qiyamah happens, وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ بَأَيِّ ذَنبٍ قُتِلَتْ. And when they ask a girl who was buried alive, for what crime were you killed? We know the sha'n al-nuzul of this verse, right? The Arab Jahiliyyah, they disliked having girls, and they would bury them alive. And it's saying on that day, they will be asked, why did you bury a girl who belonged to a kafir? How about killing a girl that is Muslim? How about killing a girl that is ma'soom? How about killing a ma'soom? How about killing the awlad of Fatima? Again, when you talk about Karbala, it's all about zulm, zalim, mazlum, haq, batil, righteousness, falsehood. I remember when we went to Ziyara with the SABA group, we were about to go to a section of the martyrs. And, Maulana Abedi and I were saying that this has nothing to do with patriotism or Iran or any other country. It's about righteousness and falsehood. At a time that all the enemies of Islam were trying to destroy an Islamic revolution with anything they had in their power, to an extent that they would use chemical weapons. To an extent that, and I remember because I saw it with my own eyes when I was a child in the city of Isfahan, that they would bomb a school. 250 children died. It was a missile that hit the school. Why? With all the technology that you have, you shouldn't be hitting a school. But why you're hitting schools, hospitals? Why? Why the enemies of Islam try to kill our dear brothers and sisters in Iraq? Daesh was doing that. Syria was doing. So Ashura, when we say kullu yawm Ashura, kullu arzan Karbala, the speech of Imam is about today. It's not about the day of Ashura. It's about saying, okay, who is the Hussein of the time? Why are people against him? What is our responsibility? Who's the zalim? Who's the mazlum? And if I sit here and don't do anything about it, I'll be very similar to the so-called Shia of Kufa. We all know history says that after Imam Hussein was martyred, 10,000 people from the city of Kufa, under the name of Tawabin, started a revolution against Bani Umayyah, right? Where were these 10,000 people on the day of Ashura? They were sitting in their homes. They didn't join the army of Umar ibn Sa'd, but they sat in their homes. Sulaiman ibn Surad al-Khuzai, you know this name, right? He was a faqih of Kufa. He was one of the greatest ulama of Shia. Za'amat of Shia was like he was a very heavy weight. When Hazrat Muslim said that we need to do an uprising, what did he say? He came out with a fatwa. He said, no, the Imam is not here. Therefore, we're going to wait till the Imam before we do anything. And because Sulaiman and the people like Sulaiman, the followers of Sulaiman, left Muslim alone, Muslim was martyred. And Imam Hussein was martyred. Because before that, Kufa was in the hands of Muslim ibn Aqil. And then Sulaiman ibn Surad al-Khuzai becomes the leader of the Shia, fighting against the Bani Umayyah, who killed Imam Hussein to take revenge for the blood of Imam Hussein when he was sitting in his house. He was actually eventually martyred. But you look at today, if we're just quiet, not saying anything about Yemen or any other place, what's the difference between me and Sulaiman ibn Surad al-Khuzai? The difference is he was a faqih, I'm not a faqih. He was an alim, I'm not an alim. He was he was a abid, he was a zahid, I'm a nobody, I'm a sinful person. If he left the Imam of his time alone, What makes me think that I'm not going to leave the Imam of my time alone? When Ayatollah Behjat, again, people like me, ignorant people like me say, Allahumma ajjal waliyaka al-faraj, waj'alna min khayri awanihi wa ansarih. Ya Allah, make me among the soldiers of Imam Mahdi. That's an ignorant person speaking. When an alim like Ayatollah Behjat makes dua, how does he make the dua? He says, Ya Allah, have mercy on me that I won't be in the army fighting against Imam Mahdi when he returns. That's his dua. He doesn't say, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْ خَيْرَ أَوَانِهِ وَأَنْصَارِهِ. That means it's so easy to be on the wrong side. Just like a faqih, alim, zahid, abid, who was known as the leader of Shia, left Muslim alone, eventually left Imam Hussein alone. These are very important lessons for us. Please recite the salawat. The month of Muharram is a very important month. It's a month of Azah, of course, but it's also a month of tazkiyah, self-building. A statement that Imam gave on the day of Ashura, part of his speech was, my intent is to cultivate your hearts, but you don't listen. You don't let me do it. You become a barrier. When Muharram comes, it's like the Hussein of our hearts says, or Imam Hussein says, I want to cultivate your hearts. Don't be a barrier. Don't be like the people of Kufa. And an ignorant person like me, I act like a Kufi. Which means at Muharram comes, Safar comes, Muharram and Safar ends, and I see my akhlaq hasn't changed. I'm not more Husseini. I'm just the same person I was before Muharram. Oh, there is something wrong here. Because the month of Muharram is a month of self-building. Some people say, Ramadan this, Ramadan is the month of istighfar. You're right. Muharram is the month of istighfar too. Hajj Panahian was saying this. And show me one hadith that shows that if you do something in the month of Ramadan, all your sins will be forgiven. Yes, on the night of Qadr, Allah forgives people. But is there an act that you can do, that you can say, if I do this, all my sins will be forgiven? But when it comes to Imam Hussein on Muharram, we say, when crying for Imam Hussein, the hadith is very clear, your sins will be forgiven. Month of istighfar. Muharram is the month of istighfar. It is the month of mawadat al-bayt. It is the month of adab. It is the month of Quran natiq. Ramadan is the month of Quran. We say Muharram is the month of Quran natiq. The living Quran. Muharram is a very important month. Muharram is a month that we discuss Imam Hussein, and we should remember Imam al-Mahdi. Muharram is the month that we should give our allegiance to Imam al-Hujjah. Remember, Muharram is the month that we have to think, okay, what is my responsibility at the time of the ghibat of the Imam? How badly do I want the Imam to come back? How badly do we want the Imam to come back? In our tongue, we say, yes, we want him to come back. But does our action support that? What am I doing actively so the Imam comes back tomorrow? If you want something to happen, you will do something about it, right? You won't just sit here and make dua for it. You will do something about it. You have a guest tomorrow in your house. You're going to sit there? Yes. We're preparing for our guest to come tomorrow. I'm not doing anything. I'm just preparing. I'm making dua for the preparation of my guest. No, you cook, you clean, you do all this stuff. It's an active state, right? If I say I want the Imam to come back, what am I doing? Next question. If I want the Imam to come back, why do I want the Imam to come back? Is it because I want the Imam to help me with my worldly goals and desires? Well, if that's the case, wasn't that the case for many people who wanted Imam Ali to become the Khalifa? Zubair was one of them, right? Right or wrong? Zubair wanted to gain something out of Khilafat Imam Ali. Zubair, Saif al-Islam, is killed that way. Zuhair Osmani is martyred in Karbala. Zuhair. Because the goals were different. We should want the Imam to come back not to help us with our materialistic goals, but to help him with his divine goals. Right? These are very, very important lessons that we have to think and we have to act upon in the month of Muharram. Please recite the salawat. It's very, very important. Like, you look at Quran, Surah Al-Buruj, when it says, قُتِلَ أَصْحَابُ الْأُخْدُودِ. Do we know the story of Ashab al-Ukhdud? The people of the valley. There was a valley that they made a big fire in it, and they burned all the mu'mineen of the time. And Allah says, death be upon those people who just watched there and they burned the mu'mineen. Death be upon them. And these were just mu'mineens. We're talking about Imam Hussein. We're talking about his family. Ashura is about asking why this zulm happened. Why is the zulm happening today? Quran is very clear. It says, وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ. Remember, it's an order. Remember Ibrahim. What did he do? He was tested, right? To go kill his own, qurbani of his own son. It didn't happen. But remember him because he obeyed Allah in doing this. If you wadhkur Ibrahim, you should wadhkur Hussein every day. Right? We should remember Imam Hussein every day. Isn't that what Ziyarat al-Nahiyya says? That it says the Imam of the time, Imam al-Hujjah, remembers Imam Hussein every day and cries every day to an extent that the tears become blood. Every day. Why is that? Every day. The message of Karbala is that it's a message for every day, brothers and sisters. وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ Maryam. Remember Maryam. What was Maryam known for? She was a abida. She was she was famous for her worshipping. Wasn't Hazrat Zainab an abida? Hazrat Maryam was worshipping Allah in a very safe place. She was worshipping in a very unsafe place these days. And all these men, harami soldiers, are surrounding them, doing everything they can to harm them. Bazkur Zainab, remember Zainab, remember Hussein every day, not just today, but every day. And then cry. Crying is very, very important. We know so many stories about it. Again, when people say this is bid'ah, that's out of ignorance. We should know these. Didn't the Prophet cry for Imam Ali? Remember that? When did Prophet cry for Imam Ali? Remember he was talking about Ramadan. Ramadan is this month, it's that month, it's this month. And then Imam Ali asked, what's the best action in the month of Ramadan? He says, taqwa and wara'. And then the Prophet began crying. He said, in this month, your beard will be colored with your blood. And the Prophet is crying for Imam Ali 30 years before the shahadat of Imam Ali. Why do we do all these poetries? People say, it's cultural, brother. It's the Urdu culture, Farsi culture, Arabic culture, this culture, that culture. It has nothing to do with culture. This is the sunnah of Ahlul Bayt. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala. Call this famous poets to come. I said, I heard that you have written a poem about Jaddi al-Hussein, about my grandfather Hussein. Can you read it for me? And it was a poetry, just like the poetry that we do for Matam, for Marsiya, for Suz, for Noha. And this poem is reading the poetry, and Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq is crying, they say, like he has lost his loved ones. To that extent. So this crying, this poetry, is the sunnah of Ahlul Bayt. It's something that inshallah we should all try to take part in. Mulana Abadi was saying this on the night of Sham Ghaliban in the Farsi hall, that there are some things that you could see, they could use as, Farsi we say shah chili, like master keys to success. Like one of them is salat on time. That you want to make sure you have this key, like express ways to success. One thing is to do your salat on time. Another one is, for example, supporting orphans. Another one is guiding people to the right path in any way that you can. Okay? But he said the most important one, the most important key that you can use for success, the express way to success that Allah has given us as a blessing, is crying for Imam Hussein or making people cry about Imam Hussein. It could be in form of poetry. It could be in form of, you've seen brothers sometimes someone's doing zikr musibat and a brother is crying very loudly. Why do you think he's doing that? And because you hear the crying, you cry. Whatever you can do to bring the sadness and tears in the eyes, the tears are very, very important for Imam Hussein. Please recite the salawat. So again, Ziyarat Ashura, what do we say? Allahumma al'an أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ذلك. Ya Allah, curse the first person who did zulm on Muhammad and all Muhammad, and all those who do it afterwards. So this concept of the zulm on Ahlul Bayt, zulm on the followers of Ahlul Bayt, we're supposed to, again, you look at today, we're supposed to see who is being oppressed. And it's happening all over. And we have to, not only in words, but also in action, take a stand against it. From Kashmir, to Syria, to Yemen, to Bahrain, to different parts of Islam, to Nigeria. Sheikh Zakzaki started with converting 20 people to Shia. Did you know that? 20 people. And how many Shia do we have in Nigeria? What's the latest number? Anyone knows? It's in millions. May Allah bless him, this one person, the impact that he had. And you see, okay, there are millions of Shia in Nigeria. Why are they being oppressed? And nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's doing anything about Nigeria. We have a responsibility. Muharram comes and goes, reminding us we have a responsibility toward the Hussein of our time, toward the Zalim of our time, toward the Mazlum of our time. It's not just to come into majalis. The majalis is supposed to motivate us, to revive our hearts, to remind us that we have a responsibility. And when we leave this place, we do something about it. Citizenship, social justice is not just words, it's action. It's all action, brothers and sisters. The beauty of these majalis is it creates wahdat, unity among us. Doesn't matter who's your marja, what's your language, what's your background. I mean, just look over here. People from so many different backgrounds. You look different, you speak different languages, right? You have different backgrounds, different ages, different ways of thinking. So diverse. Yet something binds all of us here together. One thing. حب الحسين يجمعنا. The love of Imam Hussein makes us one. And that's so powerful. And that's much needed at the time of ghibat and the time of the return of the Imam. Muharram is a time that we recognize and we see our unity. And we got to be very careful about this, brothers and sisters. Unfortunately, sometimes people do ifrat and tafrid even when it comes to azadari. Right? That we shouldn't let different styles or preferences cause disunity among us. The whole idea is to bring us all in one place. That we're united. But sometimes we see this center has an issue with that center. Your alam is 20 meters, ours has to be 25 meters. Right? Don't let such things come between us and distort the message of Karbala. Because the message of Karbala is unity. Unity of haqq versus batil. Please recite the salawats. Last thing I want to say is, in the speech of Imam Hussein on the day of Ashura, everything that he said, one thing is in common: the calmness that he had. Nafsul mutma'inna, ya ayyatuha al-nafsul mutma'inna. Please, if we can get the lights. Even you look at the maqtal, the way Imam is speaking. وَجَلَسَ عَلَى صَدْرِ الْحُسَيْنِ. And Shimr sat on the chest of Imam Hussein. وَقَبَضَ عَلَى لَحِيتَهُ, and he grabbed the beard of Imam Hussein. وَحَمَّ بِقَتْلِهِ, and he wanted to kill Imam Hussein. What does the maqtal say here? It's very powerful. What did Imam Hussein do at that time? So you can look at the words. وَجَلَسَ عَلَى صَدْرِ الْحُسَيْنِ. Shem sat on the chest. Shem grabbed the beard. Shem took out the dagger. Before that, by the way, if you look at that, the sentence before that is when he entered the Qatl, the first thing he did, he kicked Imam Hussein on his chest. And he placed his boot on the chest of Imam Hussein before sitting. He's doing all this. What is the first thing that Imam Hussein does? فَضَحَكَ الْحُسَيْنِ. Hussein smiled. نفس مطمئنة. فقال له أتقتلني ولا تعلم من أنا. So you're killing me and you know who I am? فقال أعرفك حق المعرفة. Shem said, yes, I know you and I know you very well. وجدتك محمد المصطفى أمك فاطمة الزهراء أبوك علي المرتضى. I know who you are. Very important, listen. Knowledge by itself doesn't help us. Shem had the knowledge of Quran, or at least the surface of Quran. Shem knew who Imam Hussein was. As Quran says, من بعد ما جاءهم العلم. This knowledge doesn't help them. And he says, I'm going to kill you, ولا أبالي. And I have no fear of that. فضربه بسيفه 12 ضربة. And he severed the head of Imam Hussein with 12 strikes. But the last thing Imam Hussein did, again, smiled. He smiled. He said, رَضًا بِقَضَائِكَ, رَضًا بِقَضَائِكَ, that I am happy, I'm satisfied with whatever pleases Allah, whatever Allah has planned for me. When they were killing Ali Akbar, he said, عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ, my trust is with Allah. Today is the 12th of Muharram. And if you look at this day and what happened, these are very sad days for Ahlul Bayt after they were taken from Karbala in a very tragic way. Let's remember the moment that Hazrat Zainab is trying to help all the children and women to get on the camels. One by one she helps them, and at the end there is nobody to help Zainab. Zainab remembers when she got to Karbala on the 2nd of Muharram. Ali Akbar held her hand, Qasim held her hand, so she comes down from the camel. And today there is nobody to help. And she is surrounded by men who are looking at Ahlul Bayt. And the soldiers make sure they take the Ahlul Bayt from a path that they can see the body of Imam Hussein. And they can see that the bodies of the soldiers have been buried, but the body of Aziza Fatima is not buried. On the 12th of Muharram, they get to Kufa. And they make sure that all the heads are placed on the spears in front of the prisoners. They enter Kufa. And everyone has come to streets to watch. And this narrator says, I saw the head of Imam Hussein and I began crying. Then I saw Ali ibn al-Hussein, Imam Sajjad, while his hands and feet were tied and he was sitting on a camel without saddle, and I could see blood dripping from his feet. And then, while the men are watching, Kulthum says, Ya Ahl al-Kufa, غضوا أبصاركم. O the people of Kufa, look down. This is the women of Ahlul Bayt. It's the women of your Prophet. Gaze your eyes. At one point they get to a street and people begin clapping and celebrating. And Imam al-Sajjad says, تُصَفِّقُونَ عَلَيْنَا كَفَّكُمْ فَرَحًا وَأَنْتُمْ فِي فِجَاجِ الْأَرْضِ تَسْبُونَ. You are happy and celebrating that we are taken as prisoners from street to street in the city of Kufa. And another street, a woman comes and gives some food, some bread, some dates to the children. Kulthum takes the food, throws it away and says, Sadaqah is haram upon us. Wants to make sure everyone knows this is the family of Sadat. This is the family of Rasulullah. In another street they get, and now in this street or in this neighborhood people are crying. And Kulthum says, woe upon you. Your men kill us, and your women cry upon us. Allah will be the judge between us and you. They placed the head of Imam Hussein on a palm tree, and they ask everyone to come and look what happens to a Khariji, and their words, who takes arm against the government. Then they take Imam Hussein to another neighborhood which was known for their animosity with Ali ibn Abi Talib. And in that street, they begin throwing stones at the head of Imam Hussein. That's the street that, if you look at the maqatil, that Imam Hussein is reciting Quran. You've seen whomever recites Quran, we say, Barakallah feek, MashaAllah, good job. I know of a Qari Quran that when he was reciting Quran, they threw stones at his mouth. That was Aziz Fatima, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. They enter the palace of Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. And this Mal'oon takes out a stick and begins hitting the teeth of Imam Hussein. And he says, Hussein, you had such beautiful teeth. Hussein, you got old so fast. And this Sahabi of Rasulullah is saying, Ubaydullah, stop. I swear by Allah, the place that you're hitting, I saw with my own eyes that Rasulullah used to kiss. In another narration, it states that Ubaydullah threw the head on the ground and placed his feet on the head, on the mouth of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Why are we saying these, brothers and sisters? How we started. Alasto, don't you know that I am the son of your Prophet? What crime have I committed? Did I kill any one of you? Did I take your wealth? Did I harm any one of you? Mazloom alam is Hussein. Farsi we say, Aberu yadu alam. A sinful person that, like me, I look and I think, what have I done in my life? Nothing. And the only thing that I'm proud of is Hussein and everything that I do for Imam Hussein. He is the source of reputation for us in this life. And in the hereafter, the only thing that we look forward, the only hope that we have, the only source of reputation on a day of humiliation, on the day of Qiyamah, is Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And these days, brothers and sisters, remember the hard days and nights, the experience that Zainab had. They say when Zainab saw that they were throwing stones at the head of Imam Hussein, she began hitting her head on the wood, and blood fell from her forehead. And Zainab is saying, this is the son of Ali. This is the grandson of the Prophet. What they're doing to him, they would not do to another human being. Maybe what burns the hearts more than anything else, is you see the heads of these little children on the spears. And these non-Ajib, these Mal'oon people, made sure that the heads are right in front of the eyes of the women. 11 years old, Abdullah ibn Hassan, his head is on the spear. 13 years old, Qasim ibn Hassan, his head is on the spear. Based on some of the narrations, the head of Ali Asghar is on the spear. بأي ذنب قتلت? For what crime were they killed? May Allah curse those who did zulm to Ahlul Bayt at that time, and those who are doing zulm to Ahlul Bayt at this time, and the followers of Ahlul Bayt. Allahumma ajil waliyaka al-faraj. Ya Allah, بحق امام حسین، بحق علی اکبر، بحق علی اصغر، بحق زینب کبرا، بحق ابا الفضل Abbas, hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time. Ya Rabb al-Husayn، بحق الحسين، اشف صدر الحسين، بظهور الحجة بن الحسن المهدي. ماتم حسین. یا حسین، 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 Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
حسين يا مولا يا مولا يا مولا، حسين يا مولا يا مولا يا مولا، حسين يا مولا لا يا مولا، حسين يا مولا يا مولا يا مولا، حسين يا مولا يا مولا يا مولا، حسين يا مولا يا مولا. تشتي رقيا، تشتي رقيا، تشتي عبد الله، تشتي عبد الله. We just need water, we just need water. Father, some water, Father, some water. Where's your flag bearer, where's your flag bearer? Son of Fatima, son of Fatima. Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. 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 Hussein's all alone, Hussein's all alone. Sheikh Qasim has gone, Ali Akbar's gone, Abu Fadil's gone, Abu Fadil's gone. Even Abdullah, even Abdullah. Hussein wa wayla, Hussein wa wayla. Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. 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 Zainab cries Allah, Zainab cries Allah. Where's Aba Abdillah, where's Aba Abdillah? Where's Ali Akbar, where's Ali Akbar? Where is Abdullah, where is Abdullah? Where's my Alamdar, where's my Alamdar? Where's my flag bearer, where's my protector? Where is my Abbas, where is my Abbas? Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Now the tent's on fire, now the tent's on fire. Shakul Ruqayya, Shakul Ruqayya. Zainab you have seen, Zainab you have seen. Zainul Abidin, Zainul Abidin. Ill and locked in chains, ill and locked in chains. Zahra cries in pain, Zahra cries in pain. My Hussein is slain, my Hussein is slain. Where is my Hussein? Where is my Hussein? Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Your head on a spear, your head on a spear. My eyes filled with tears, my eyes filled with tears. Your body trampled, your body trampled. Why were they so cruel? Why were they so cruel? And it still hurts me, and it still hurts me that you died thirsty, that you died thirsty. Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla.
Hussein ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya. Assalamu alayka ya Rasulallah. السلام عليك يا حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا سيد الوسيم. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام على خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبا الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أقيلة السادات يا زينب بنت أمير المؤمنين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين زين العابدين. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي باقر علم النبي. السلام عليك يا جعفر بن محمد الصادق. السلام عليك يا موسى بن جعفر الكاظم. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك يا علي بن موسى الرضا. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي أيها الجواد التقي. السلام عليك يا علي بن محمد أيها الهادي النقي. السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري. السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. السلام عليك يا بقية الله في أرضه. وعجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك واجعلنا من خير أعوانك وانصارك والمستشهدين بين يديك. اللهم اجعل محيانا محيا محمد وآل محمد ومماتنا ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة محمد وآل محمد وفي الآخرة شفاعة محمد وآل محمد. وإلى الأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة مع السلام.